It's James with Net News Ledger. Joining us by phone is Judith Monteith-Farrell, the MPP in the Provincial Parliament for Thunder Bay Atikokan. Judith, welcome to the new Net News Ledger COVID-19 interview style.
Oh, thank you.
It's a brave new world that we've entered into.
It sure is.
Now, one of the issues that we've been talking about on Net News Ledger a little bit, we were talking to Minister of Health Haju, we were talking to Premier Ford today, and now to you, is intercommunity bus service. What do you see this from the New Democrat side point of view?
Well, we've been talking about intercommunity bus service and transportation service and rail service for some time, and highlighting that if you want to develop the North and you want to ensure that people can live here and work here, we need transportation.
What have you been hearing from the government?
What we've heard from the government is that they were going to be opening up the Northland bus route from White River to Thunder Bay. That was something that was announced quite unexpectedly. We've asked for the Northland bus train service to be reinstated in Northwestern Ontario. And we've also heard that, a lot of nothing.
Okay.
Because recently when I brought up, I did have a meeting with the Minister of Transportation about the intercommunity bus service and how it's sort of a vital link between our communities here in Northern Ontario. And she said, yes, she agreed that it was important, but was short on details of anything they were going to do about it.
I've been asking a lot of questions on that, and what I keep getting from MTO is that they're developing a plan. And so I've been saying, okay, well, when? It's one thing to have a plan that you're developing, but eventually you've got to actually, either measure twice and cut wood eventually.
What we're saying is that it's fine to have a plan, but we had a service. We need that service supported in Northwestern Ontario until something better comes along, if there will ever be anything better come along. So what we need is to get the service secured for the Northern Ontario, and then after, if you want to change it or develop it, we'd welcome that. But right now, what we need is support.
And I'm finding this kind of ironic in a way. The New Democrats are advocating that right now we've got to help a private bus company, and the federal or the provincial Conservative government is suggesting, I don't know yet.
Well, the Northland is a Crown corporation, so we were surprised about that as well. But what we were concerned about is having a service,
yes,
and a suitable service.
So, shifting gears a little bit, how are you finding things working through all of these changes in our lifestyles, and what message would you like to share with the constituents for Thunder Bay Atikokan and, of course, Thunder Bay and the wider market?
I think Thunder Bay and the area really needs to be congratulated, because people did make a lot of sacrifices and did heed advice and stayed home and abided by physical distancing, and that is why we've come out of this, or we're not out of it yet, but are at least not suffering as much as we could. And when I hear from people about their different circumstances, we say we're in this all together, but people are in different boats.
They truly are.
People are experiencing this a lot differently. Those who have lost their jobs, it's a devastating time financially. Other folks who were perhaps retired or continue to work have a different way of, it's more inconvenience than it is the hardship. So I really admire the people that stepped forward in Thunder Bay too to help each other. There was a lot of volunteer work, formal and informal, that went on and that I heard about, which was just typical of how we pulled together in Thunder Bay.
Excellent. Judith, we would like to keep in touch on this issue and others, of course, and we thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we're continuing this week to pursue with the Minister of we're not letting her just have one meeting. We're continuing to put pressure on to see that this thing is fixed sooner rather than later.
Fighting for the North, Judith Monteith-Farrell. This is James with Net News Ledger.
Thanks a lot, James.
Take care.